Hello and welcome to a roto review of the Godox SL60 SL Series Video Light. As we are right now, the studio setup's quite new, so this is going to hopefully take pride of place over on my left hand side here to replace the very small little light I've got. This is just something that I wanted to unbox with you, show you, see what we think, have a little look. So should we go ahead and unbox? This is the Godox SL60W. As I say, it's a daylight temperature light. I will be using it with a softbox that I already have, and it uses the Bowens mount, which is ideal for a lot of photographers, especially because that's a very popular mount for, along with all the flashes and things we have here in the studio. So let's go ahead and unbox. So first things on top, got your paperwork. Nobody reads the paperwork. We've got quite a long power cord, that's quite handy. As you can see here, that is very handy because it means we can put it just a little bit further away from the power supplies. It can be annoying trying to drag along extra extension cables and things like that. I'm not too far away from power source here, but still, that is quite long. I'd say that's a 4 meter cable, if not 5. That's good. So, take off that. There we have it. It's very good that it actually comes with the shell, which there's a few lights out there that do not come with this. But that's quite handy. I do have a spare one of these, but it's great that it comes direct with one if you do want that spotlight, if you want something that you can just hone the light in. It's great for things like weddings as well. So, the Godox SL60W. There's some nice controls on the back there. As you can see, you've got your control knob and the group and channel button, power supply in, and a very simple on-off switch. One other thing that was in the box is the remote. So there we have the actual LED light sensor at the front. Very big heat sink. I am told this can get quite warm. We'll see. We'll certainly put it through its paces over the next few hours. I'm going to do some nice footage with this. You can actually see the coverage. I don't think you'll be able to see that there. Maybe if I hold it up to that camera. You can see the little dash in the spread. Now more expensive lights, you'll have a much more even spread of the little LEDs. This one seems to have 2 banks along the top, 2 banks along the bottom, and then a much bigger spread of about 10 lines of LEDs, much more condensed in the middle. So top and bottom of this light, you're going to have a little bit of fall off. I don't think it's going to be massive, and it's certainly not going to affect me, especially when using it with a softbox in the studio. So, should we get it plugged in? Let's see what sort of power this thing can produce. Okay, so let's plug that in there, turn it on. Wow, that is bright. Probably see that. That is currently at 10%. Let's take it all the way up to 100. Well, that is more than enough light. That's actually quite impressive. It's much more than I need. And to be honest, I imagine that I'm going to be around the 25 to 30%. That's 30%, and I'm quite happy with that. Now, if we were to put the hood on, just by putting the hood on there, we can see. Now that creates a much more. You can see the shape of the light. It's a much more of a direct light, which is ideal, especially if you're backlighting someone at a wedding for a first dance, for instance, which is something I do like to do, especially with the films. First impressions, it's very well built. Very impressed actually, for what is less than £100. I'm actually very impressed with the build quality of this. So this shows you on the back, you can obviously increase the amount of power the light is outputting. We definitely don't need that much light. I'm actually very impressed with the amount of light this is putting out. And this is, as you can see, that is currently at 25%, and that's lighting up the whole studio behind me. Very, very impressive indeed. So, at a guess, I would say that is a 5 meter power cable, which I couldn't find any info about how long the cable was. That was quite important to me, to have something that we can just move around easily. This is something I would probably take to a wedding without any real worries, There is a battery option. I didn't bother with the battery option or the battery version. It's just something else you've got to charge, and I don't know how often I use this. Certainly less in the summer. Winter weddings right now, this is going to be ideal, and I've got a few weddings this month I'll be looking to use this on. As it stands, you might be able to tell we've got 2 studio lights on me here. One decent sized one, which is still actually a portable battery operated one, the Yongnuo that I use for weddings, and it's okay, does a good job, and we've got a decent sized softbox on it. But now we've got a proper Bowens mount Godox studio light. That's going to replace the very small little video light I've got over there, which just helps for just a little bit of extra light for things like this. I'm going to swap it over now and let's see what it looks like. I've now got the Godox in place. We've actually got it set at 50% power. I am currently using 2 forms of diffusion on the softbox, so it makes quite a bit of difference to how much power you do need to use. Something to bear in mind if you are going to use a softbox with it. Again, as I say, you won't need that sort of diffusion, not for a wedding. You're not going to take something so big. I've actually got a large softbox on at the moment, which is a 30-inch version, just a cheap Pro Photo one. I'm very pleased with the amount of light. Just looking at the monitor on here, I can see already it's filled in a lot of the shadow on that side. It just makes it nice and even helps light the background of the office quite a bit. I may use the other little light just to light up some of the detail in the back. So it's currently at 50%, as you can see by the remote on here. You may be able to see that on there. If I were to press it up, it does get rather bright. That's now 70%, 75%. That's way too bright as it is. You don't want to see me that well, do you? Take it back down to 50. I mean, that's more than enough light for what we need here. So the temperature can be changed a fair bit, more than I actually thought was an option. I've currently got it at 4600, but I can take it down now, so that's 3300K, which is quite white. But you can warm it up quite a bit more, 5600K, which is actually quite nice, so I might leave it at 5600K. It's not a huge amount of difference that you're going to see, but it can just warm it up that little bit, take the edge off. The other light that we've got set up is a little bit warmer, but it's kind of nice to have a little bit of difference anyway. And there's a little cheeky backlight behind us, which is quite white, but it just separates me from the background. So this little remote is actually going to be quite handy. It's going to save me going around that side, or at least having to squeeze round. Once you've got your settings dialed in, all you do, you can just turn it off, job done. You can see the amount of difference just that light alone makes. Bit moody with just the one light, but I definitely prefer it with the 2. Beautiful. So that is the light itself. Figured it was a great little light to use just on the first review, especially as now every other video from here on should be as well lit. Hope you've enjoyed this little unboxing and quick review of what this light is about. I will certainly tell you more as the months go on. If it's something you do want to know more of, just let us know in the comments below. We can give you a little update of how we get on this year with it. We don't like to talk too much about something or review too much straight away, especially something like a light, because you need to be able to get to know exactly what it looks like in different conditions. It's mainly going to be used in the studio, but I will be taking it out and about as much as I can, especially with weddings and especially in these winter months ahead. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video. We will be doing more reviews as the weeks go on. Going to try and do at least 3 a week on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. That will start to come in February, so for the next few weeks we're just going to be putting lots of videos on things that we've been reviewing, things that we've got that we've been itching to tell people about. A lot of the use will be for commercial work, for weddings, and just some fun things as well. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.